Hi, and welcome to Mini Ministry. I want to share a part of my story with you today to encourage you or for you to help to encourage somebody you know. I am, as you can tell by now, an avid follower of the Lord Jesus Christ, and that's just an amazing place to be. And I'm happily married to a guy I've been with for 17 years. The love of my life. He's my best friend. But he did not always follow Christ like I followed Christ. And so I spent a couple of years simply praying for my husband. I would be laying in bed and would just lift up him in prayer, cover him in prayer. There were nights when I would just sit there and kind of cry and hope that God would intervene. There were days when I would be reading the Bible and I'd be sitting on the floor and I would just be overwhelmed and I would, fall to the floor and I would just pray. And first of all, I have to tell you, if your spouse does not believe that is the first and foremost place you need to go is to the foot of the cross, and you need to pray. Secondly, I'm here to tell you that prayer does not happen in our timing. It happens in God's timing. I would have loved for my husband to receive Christ sooner than what he did. However, I'm so glad he didn't, because it all happened in God's timing. If things happened on our timetable, we would have not as much need of faith, I don't think. So instead, I spent years, literally years, praying, covering my husband in prayer, praying for him, praying over our marriage, praying for me. And when my husband made that decision to fully and completely submit his life to Christ, it was one of the most amazing days of my life, I'm sure of his as well. And that was probably almost better than our wedding day, to be honest, simply because what happened impacted him for eternity. I will get to see him in heaven, and that's amazing. So, excuse me, I wanted to share this with you today because it's something I've been thinking about, but also to remind you to keep praying. Don't stop just because you think your prayers are not being answered, because I assure you, God hears each and every one of our prayers. I know He heard my prayer, and I know that because I can see how He changed me through the course of my praying, how He changed my relationship with Him, as well as how He changed my husband, which is now in turn changing our marriage and our lives. But it just wasn't in my time. It was in His time. But I'm thankful for that time, because through all those years I had of praying and of covering my husband in prayer and of studying the Word and studying as much stuff I could get my hands on to help my husband to find Christ, I grew in faith. I grew to a great reliance on the Lord in a way I don't think I would have had if I would not have had that experience. Not to say that everybody needs an experience like that, but for me, it just went above and beyond of God getting my attention. So I want to encourage you to continue to pray. And even after someone commits their life to Christ, you need to continue to cover them in prayer. Pray for your spouse daily. Pray for your children. Pray for your family. Pray for safety. Pray for all those things, because God hears each and every one of your prayers. And God, who is almighty and sitting on the throne, wants to help His children. But His way is always better than our ways, and we have to trust Him. And if there's anything I've learned from my journey of faith, it's exactly that. I need to trust Him. And if I've trusted Him for my salvation and for reliance upon that, I can trust Him with even the smaller things. So spend time in prayer today and every day. Before you even get out of bed, say a prayer. Before you before you eat a meal, thank God for what's in front of you. When a moment arises, I try to, when I see an ambulance or a fire truck pass, I just silently say a prayer for whoever's involved. There are so many people that need the Lord. Even as Christians, we need to be lifted up in prayer. Pray for your pastors, So many people and so many situations that we can be praying on behalf for. And God hears each and every one of them. But I wanted to share that with you because I want to tell you that it's not in our timing, it's in God's. And I'm so glad that I continued fervently to pray for my husband over those years, because the outcome has been extremely rewarding, blessed, and just amazing and awesome. So Shout out to my husband. I love you so much. So glad you're on this journey with me. And to all of those that pray over your spouses so you can be on that journey too. Thank y'all and have a blessed day.